Hello everyone, welcome back to Karen's English Hub. So we're continuing with the summaries of 8th class English, and in this video we shall deal with Unit 3 Reading B, the Selfish Gaint Part 2. So Part 1 is already over. So those who didn't watch Part 1 video, you can just simply go through my playlist and there you will find Part 1. Also, I will add the description of Part 1 link in this video. Okay, so without wasting any time, simply we shall move to the text here. So in part 1 we had come across the conclusion was like the James garden was full of snow, and there was no greenness, there were no fruits, and the giant was not at all happy because all around his premises everywhere in the country, there was spring season, but only in his garden the spring season has not come. His garden is completely covered with snow everywhere, that is just like a white clock and all. Okay, so now in this part he realizes the importance of children. Okay, so let us see what is that. So reading B, the Selfish Gaint Part 2. Yeah, so old Gaint. So one morning I was lying awake in bed when I heard some lovely music. It was sounded like so sweet that I thought it must be the king's musicians passing by, but it was really only a little linnet bird singing outside my window. So one day what happened? The season was like this. The spring, the this one frost, snow, and the season was like that. Still winter. So he was just laying in his bed awake. Okay, awake in the sense he did not sleep. Okay, so at the time he heard some beautiful music, and he thought beautiful music was just like the king's musicians playing some beautiful music, but there were no kings and musicians when he heard that. So he thought it was something very you know talented or a big person or musician singing it, but finally when he saw, it was only a little small linnet bird singing outside his window. Okay, so suddenly he realizes something, and I was so long, it was so long since I heard a bird sing in my garden that seemed to me to be the most beautiful music in the world. Okay, so since the time he has come to his home, he did not listen to any bird's music or any music. Okay, so because of that, when he heard this small linnet bird's voice, so sound and all, chipping and all, so he found out, or he felt that it is the most beautiful music he has ever heard. Okay, so the giant the hail has stopped dancing over my head, and the north wind has ceased his roaring. Ceased in the sense stopped. A delicious smell is coming from the window. I believe the spring has come at last. Okay, so the giant started telling, "Oh my God, I am very happy now. Why? Because all this hail and all stopped, or ceased dancing on my building. Okay, the north wind has ceased his roaring. Delicious smell is coming from the window. Why? Because there is spring in his garden. Why there is spring? How there can be spring in his garden? Okay, so when there is spring season, there is the beauty of so many flowers and all. So when there are so many flowers and all, you'll obviously smell beautiful fragrance. Okay, so the giant jumps out of the bed and looks out through a little hole in the wall the children have crept in and are sitting on the branches of the trees. So the giant, was very much happy because the spring season has come to his garden, and he jumped out of his bed, and he saw that children were entering into his garden through a small hole that they made at the edge, one of the edge of his garden's wall. Okay, so old giant. In every tree I could see a little child. The trees were so glad to have the children back again. and they had covered themselves with blossoms and were waving their arms gently above the children's heads. So when he saw the scenery of his garden, on the every tree, on the every single tree, there are children. Okay, on the every single tree there are children, and the trees also were very much happy to have the children back. Okay, and the trees were waving their uh, hands or arms, okay, just like branches, okay, just like in order to tell that they are also very much happy. The birds were flying about and twittering in the sense, not messaging in the Twitter, okay. So twittering in the sense chirping or making sound, just like crow is making sound, okay, beside me here. Okay, so twittering with delight, and the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing. Okay, so the the scene of the flowers which have come out of the plants, just like, laughing. Next, so it was a lovely scene. Only in one corner it was still winter. It was the farthest corner of the garden, and in it was standing a little boy. So he was so small that he could not reach up to the branches of the tree, and he was wandering around it, crying bitterly. The poor tree was still quite covered with frost and snow, and the north wind was blowing and roaring over it. "Climb up, little boy," said the tree, and it bent its branches down as low as it could. But the little boy was too tiny. It was then that my heart melted. My heart melted in the sense, who's that? James' heart melted. Okay, so when he has seen the scenery in his garden, the trees were very much happy. They were just, very happy along with the children. The birds were singing. Okay, there was everywhere greenness. The flowers have bloomed. There is lot of fragrance. Fruits have come out. Okay, so everywhere in the garden it is very beautiful and wonderful. But at one corner of the garden it is still winter. Okay, it is still winter. Okay, there is a tree which is still covered with the frost. Okay, why? Because there are no children on the tree. Okay, but there was a little boy who wanted to climb the tree, but he couldn't because he was so small. And the tree also is saying to the boy, "Come on boy, climb up," but he couldn't climb up. And tree also bent its uh, branches as possible as it could, as much possible as it could, but it couldn't reach the little boy. So when this scene was, everything was going on like this, he has seen the beauty that is in his garden, and also at one corner he has seen the sadness. Okay, so looking at this scene, this Jane's heart was melted. Okay, yeah, so here we go, see here the scene. Okay, I will show you this picture back again. Okay, so the Giant. How selfish I have been. Now I know why the spring would not come here. I will put that little boy on the top of the tree, and then I will knock the wall. I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever. Okay, looking at all this scene, the giant said to himself, "How selfish I was, how selfish I have been till now." Okay, so now I know why the spring did not come to my garden. So now I will put that little boy on the top of the tree, so that, okay, the spring will even come to that tree also. And also I will knock down the wall which I have built around the uh, garden. And from now my garden will be the children's playground forever and ever, in the sense, you know till the end. Okay, so how much time or how long they want to play, so that many years and that many days the garden will be the children's garden. So old Giant, so I was really very sorry for what I had done. So I crept downstairs and opened the front door quite softly and went out into the garden. But when the children saw me, they were so frightened and they all ran away, and the garden became winter again. Okay, so what happened? So he thought to himself like that, to put that boy on the top of the tree, and he opened his doors very quietly and he came into the garden. So when children saw this fellow, the giant, again they were terrified and they started to run away. And finally, when they ran out of the garden, again the garden covered with the snow and frost, and there again it was winter. See, look at this picture here. Okay, the giant has come out of his house. Okay, and he started to take the boy, little boy, into his hands and put him on the tree. Okay, that we will see in the further lines here. Yeah. So the garden finally has become winter again. So only the little boy did not run. Okay, why? For his eyes were full of tears that he did not see me coming. Okay, so this little boy could not run. Why? Because this little boy's eyes were filled with tears. Why they filled with tears? They have filled with tears because he cried. Why he cried? Because he couldn't climb the tree. Okay, so since his eyes were filled with tears, he couldn't see giant coming. So because of that, he didn't run away. So I stole up behind him and took him gently in my hand. Okay, so he just you have seen the image, right? So he took that boy in his hands and put him into the tree, and the tree broke at once into blossom, and the birds came and sang on it, and the little boy stretched his two arms and flung them around my neck and kissed me. So when the other children saw that, they came running back, and with them came the spring. Okay, so the giant went to the little boy. He took the boy into his hands and he placed him on one of the branches of the tree which is covered with the frost. So when he placed the boy on the tree, at once in a sense, or suddenly, all of a sudden, the tree blew into spring. Okay, it became green all of a sudden, and birds came to the tree. Okay, they started singing, dancing, and everything. Okay, so as soon as he placed him on the tree, the boy also, what did he do? He just uh, you know flung in the sense hugging. Okay, flung the hands around his neck, in the sense, just like gave us a little bit of nice hug to the giant. And when all the children, other children who are out of the garden, they saw this scene. Okay, they also very much happy, they were happy, and they also came inside the garden and climbed the trees. And as soon as they came inside the garden, again the whole garden became spring. Okay, yeah. So the giant, so it is your garden now, little children. What did he say? It is your garden now, little children. But till before, in the part 1, do you remember? He said, my garden is my own garden, and I will allow nobody in it to play but myself. Okay, so now what is he saying? It is your garden, children, because he realized that with children there comes beauty. Okay, so old giant, I took a great axe and knocked down the wall, and when the people were going to the market at 12 o'clock, they found me, yes, me, playing with children in the most beautiful garden they had ever seen. All day long we played, and at the evening the children came to bid in the sense say, bid me goodbye. Okay, so finally he said to the children, okay, bacho, this garden is yours. Okay, you play, do, jump, okay, sing, whatever you want to do, you can do in this garden. And I finally took a big axe and he knocked down the wall. Okay, so people were going to the market at 12 o'clock. So they found him, yes, me, yes, me. Okay, why did he repeat that? Because he changed. Yeah, it's me, right? Okay, so I was like that once upon a time, but now I'm changed. Okay, me. Okay, so he wants to point himself that and say that he has changed. Okay, so the people have seen the giant playing with all the children and all in his beautiful garden. And when it was evening, the children came to giant to say goodbye. Okay, the tall girl, now we have somewhere to play. Short boy, this is much better than the road. Square girl. Yes, the road is so dusty and the dust makes me sneeze. Graceful girl. And the grass is so much nicer than all those hard stones. Round by. I like all the flowers. Graceful girl and the trees. Tall girl. How happy we are all here. Thank you, Mr. Giant. Round boy. Yes, thank you. You are very, very nice, Giant. The Giant. But where is your little companion? The boy I put into the tree. Graceful girl. I don't know. A round boy. He has gone away. The Giant. You must tell him to be sure to come here tomorrow. The tall girl. I don't know where he lives. Square girl. I have never seen him before. Okay, so see here what happens here. And of course I have read a little bit faster, but no issue, I will explain it. So before they could go, they started to speak. Yes, now we have somewhere to play. We need not to play on the road, we need not to hit the stones, and we need not to play in the dust and all. We were discussing like that. And the giant in between asked, where is your little boy? Okay, he's asking about the boy whom he put on the tree. Okay, so where is your little companion and all. So they started saying, we don't know where he has gone, we don't know. Everybody started saying we don't know. And one girl also said, we have never seen him before here. Okay, till then they didn't see this little boy there. Okay, the girls were saying like that. So the giant, but I wanted to thank him. So when he kissed me on the cheek, I felt as though a great weight had been lifted from my heart. Okay, the Jane said, see, when you come back tomorrow, please bring him along with you. And I want to thank him because when he hugged me and kissed me on my cheek, I felt as though a great pain or a great weight has lifted out, or lifted or removed. Okay, lifted here in the sense removed. A great pain has been removed from my heart. So I just want to thank him, he said. Short boy, I'm sorry, but I don't think he lives around here. Okay, the short boy said, okay, fine, Giant, we are very happy, but we don't think, or I don't think that that boy lives around here, because we have not seen him till now. It is the first day that we saw him. So old Giant, every afternoon when the school was over, the children came and played with me, but I never saw again the little boy whom I loved. Oh, I would like to see him again. I have grown old and feeble waiting. I cannot play about with the children anymore, so I sit here in my armchair and watch the children and their games and admire my garden. I have many beautiful flowers, but the children are the most beautiful flowers of all. Okay, so after that, every afternoon when the school was over, the children used to come and play in his garden. But after that day, the giant didn't see the little boy whom he loved very much. Okay, and the time when he has spoke to us directly like old giant. So by the time he has become so much old, so he doesn't play with children anymore. He just, he's just taking rest in his armchair watching the children playing. So the garden house also is, which is very much beautiful with lot of flowers, but he is also telling that children are the more beautiful or the most beautiful flowers, okay, of all. Okay, so finally he has changed his character from selfish to kind or good giant. So getting up and looking out of the window, so he has spoken all those uh, dialogues. And I no longer hate the winter, it is merely the spring asleep, the flowers are resting. Okay, so what did he say? So I didn't hate winter. And what he was saying, I didn't hate winter because I'm thinking that all these flowers and the trees, they are just resting. Okay, so suddenly he rubs his eyes in no wonder and looks around. Okay, so suddenly he rubbed his eyes, okay, as though we rub just like when we get up in the morning, and he saw something. So what a marvelous sight this is. In the furthest corner of the garden, a tree covered with lovely white blossoms. Its branches are golden and silver fruit hangs down from them. And what is this? Can it be? Oh, can it be? He has come back. He has come back. The old giant leaps down the stairs into the snowy garden onto the grassy patch where the child is standing, where he draws close to the child and examines him. His face grows red with anger. Okay, so when he was speaking all these things to us, suddenly he saw at the corner rubbing his eyes, and then he saw at the corner the tree, okay, where the same tree on which the giant has placed the little boy, that has turned into golden color or the green color. Okay, and the flowers and everything makes it look more golden color. So he thought that little boy has again come, so he wanted to see the little boy. So the old giant leaps down the stairs. Okay, so he started to come down from the stairs, and he went straight to the tree there. And when this giant saw the little boy's face, the giant is very much angry. Okay, why? Old giant, who hath dared to wound thee? See, here we have few words which are old English words. Okay, who hath, okay, who hath in the sense who has dared to wound you, thee in the sense you. Okay, so somebody has wounded the little child. Okay, so the old giant is asking, who is that fellow who has that much dared to wound you? Your hands, your feet, who has dared to wound thee? Tell me, that I make that I may take out my big sword and slay him. Okay, world is giant is very much angry and he is saying, "Come on, tell me who has hurt you, who has bait you like this? Look at your hands, your feet. Who has that much dare? I will take out my big sword and I will kill him. Slay in the sense kill. Okay, child, nay, nay in the sense no. But these are the wounds of love, they are necessary." What did the child say? He's telling that they are the wounds of love and they are also necessary. Old giant, falling to his knees, little child, who art thou? Who art thou in the sense, who are you? Little child. Okay, so as soon as the giant heard these uh, sentences, okay, these words from little child, the giant fell on his knees and he is asking, child, who are you? Tell me, who are you? Okay, the child smiling, you let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to live in my garden, which is in paradise. What did the child say? Once, okay, once upon a time, you allowed me to play in your garden. Now you will come with me, along with me, to live in my garden, which is in paradise. Paradise in the sense heaven. So, do you understand anything in this sentence? Okay, so this little boy is just like an angel or just like a god, okay, who is saying that once upon a time you allowed me to play in your garden, but now it is time for you to come along with me to my garden. Okay, so which is like heaven. So the child climbs into the old giant's arms. The winter melts away before them as they walk into an ever expanding garden. Okay, so this is very um, saddest ending, okay, we ever experience. Okay, so finally, uh, the little child is just like an angel who has come to tell the old giant that his time is over on the earth. Okay, so finally the child has climbed onto the hands of the old giant, and as soon as he climbed, the winter melts away before them and they together walk into an ever expanding garden. That means that is heaven. Okay, so see how beautiful this one act play is. Please, please read it twice, thrice. Okay, and you will understand or you will experience the beauty of this lesson. Okay, so it is very much, I strongly suggest you to read this. Okay, you will understand it very much carefully, though there are some words which are difficult to understand, please refer to the dictionaries and read and understand this text. Okay, you all need to understand. So this is written by Oscar Wilde, converted into play by Rain Taylor. Okay, actually this is not directly written into one night play by Oscar Wilde. I think it was written into a novel, okay, or play, we do not know. So that was later converted into play uh, by Rain Taylor. Okay, Oscar Wilde has written this one art play. It was converted into play by Rain Taylor. So about the author, we have some words here. So Oscar Wilde, he was born on 16th October 1854 and died on 30 November 1900. So was an Irish poet and writer. Okay, next, after writing in different forms throughout the 1880s, he became one of the London's most popular playwrights in the early 1890s. Today he is remembered for his epigrams and plays. Oscar Wilde is the best known for the novel The Picture of Dorian Gray and the play The Importance of Being Honest. The Happy Prince and the Other Tales is a collection of the children's stories. The children, see, now it is specially actually for the children, but this type of vocabulary and this type of narration cannot be easily understood by the little 6th and 7th grade children. Okay, so that is why it is in the 8th grade. So the children, those who want to read or experience most of his writings, we can just simply purchase or read this The Happy Prince and the Other Tales, uh, this collection of children's stories, and enjoy Oscar Wilde's writings. They are really beautiful. Okay, so with this we end reading B here, and in our next video we shall go through reading C, that is The Garden Within, that is poem. And I also said that part 1 video will be given in the description. You can just simply go through that before going through this part 2. Okay, so see you all in the next video. Until then, God bless you, take care.